DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Bills Weekly here on FingerLakes1.com. Victory Monday, late from a victory Friday for the Buffalo Bills. 31-21 over the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football in Week 3. Paul Russo, Jim Senecropi, Kyle Evans here with you. We'll recap the game, look ahead to the Saints, and I don't know if there's really anything else outside of that in the Bills world right now to really dive into that we weren't already discussing. So
I got a bold prediction
okay.
for later in the show.
I like that. I like that a lot. So we'll get to that and more. But first, I think a couple more of our sponsors, including Nolan's Catering, planning a special event. Let Nolan's Catering help curate your next occasion. Now booking special events at Hotel Canandaigua, Tapestry Collection by Hilton on Lakeshore Drive, the Fallbrook House at Canandaigua Country Club, or Nolan's on South Main Street in Canandaigua. Nolan's is ready to curate a food and beverage package perfect for any occasion, from elegant weddings to corporate events and private parties. Enjoy the moment knowing Nolan's has it covered. To plan your perfect event, visit nolansonTheLake.com. And West & Company Diamonds and Jewelry, a full-service family-owned jewelry store serving Auburn and the surrounding communities. You can check them out online at westandcompany.com or stop in and browse their selections at 10 Genesee Street in downtown Auburn. West & Company, crafting fine jewelry since 1982. All right, as mentioned, the Bills 31, Dolphins 21 on Thursday Night Football. I have a hot take. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. I guess I'm against the grain a little bit on the title of the podcast. I don't know if I necessarily view this as surviving an upset scare in the sense of, I don't know. I know me and you, Kyle, we discussed a little bit on this off air, and maybe this can kind of be the general whatever of how we get going here. But even at 21-21, I don't think I really felt in danger, if you will, for the Bills losing this game or anything like that. Maybe it's more for the fact that, like, especially now, moving off of them, but like, the Dolphins being the Dolphins and stuff like that, I don't know. I never felt really in danger for the Bills of losing that game in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because you looked at last year's game and the Bills won on a last-second field goal. They had the same issue in Buffalo. This one was 21-21 with under 10 minutes to go after it was 14-14 at halftime. The Bills didn't play their best, of course, but you just felt like the way the NFL is and the way the Dolphins were coming out and actually like really trying and not just quitting, that anything could happen. I mean, we saw that in Cleveland yesterday with the Packers. I mean, it was an ugly game, but they were up 10-0, and I think they're probably feeling good about themselves that they leave there with a win. And
they're about to kick a field goal to win, and then everything switched. So that could have happened.
Yeah, so
Buffalo, I never felt like they were going to lose.
Yeah, and I didn't really think that either. I think that's why it still is sort of labeled that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, and I know it doesn't say the true story necessarily, but, the win graphic chart, the Bills, it was always in the Bills' favor Thursday night. It never got below 54% in the Bills' favor. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's tough. I guess I get it from maybe a semi-traditional standpoint, right? Like you said, Kyle, we're under 10 minutes to go in the game at one point. It's tied, whatever, but, like, clearly it's just one of those things where it's never a doubt. I know we kind of say that maybe ironically in a lot of spaces now, but like there's just kind of never a doubt that the Bills were going to get
Allen
it done.
was never pushed into a position where he had to do something amazing, like, break off a 30-yard run and on a 3rd and long. It seemed like the Bills always had control. Too many drop balls still.
Questionable play calling at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, looks like an average defense, average NFL defense.
Yeah, their third down defense was really bad. It felt like they'd get them to third down, and then it was an automatic first down. The Dolphins were 10 for 15 on third down. That can't happen in any week, or else you're probably going to lose.
Right.
This is a different team.
Yep.
And again, for what it's worth on that side, the defense did step up and close the game out. Right, Bernard game-sealing interception.
And they always do that.
Yeah,
They always have that big moment. What is it, 13 straight home games with a takeaway?
Yeah.
NFL history. So they show up in big moments. They get that fumble. They get that interception. It's wild that it keeps happening.
And I think a key part here, too, and I kind of hate that we kind of harp a little bit, or I think it's more me that does it, but look, when the Chiefs were really kind of at the quote-unquote height of their powers a few years ago, right, like they never had an all-elite defense. It was a bend, don't break defense that showed up when they needed to, and the Bills' defense is kind of that way, too, frankly, at this point. Hard to kind of avoid it. I did want to say before we can totally move off of it, I did remember last week to write down our predictions.
Oh, yeah.
And to be fair, me and Kyle, we were kind of at least in the neighborhood score-wise of what this ended up being. I said 31-18, you said 31-17, ended up being 31-21, so we weren't totally off.
What did I say, like 40?
Yeah, 46-6 for you, Jim. You were really hoping for the Bills just to.
He wasn't the only one, though. I saw national media saying it'd be like 3-score difference.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill probably had one of his better games against the Bills that he's had in a long time, even though it wasn't like a great game, but he made a few big plays on those third downs.
I was going to say, I think if you want to do it that way, it was only on third down. He only ended up with 49 total yards.
They were big. They were impactful.
Yeah.
I did bet the under on his yardage, and that was easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was 64, 62.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, too, where maybe it helps, right, the fact that we're doing this podcast 4 days after the fact in this sense, and knowing what we know from the weekend, right? The Patriots lose, the Jets lose, the Bills get another full game in hand on the rest of the division as well. At this point, like, it's one of those things I think, we talked about a little bit last week. Yeah, things could be better, but, like, I don't know, man. You get a win like this, you get another game in hand on the division. It's like one of those things where it's like, what do we really need to get down to here in a lot of ways with this game,
Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of fans, and even Eagles fans, I think today, are complaining about a lot of things, even though if you look at their record.
Yeah.
But that's where we are at the fan bases right now. Like, they want to win, but they also want to make it look really good.
Right.
And because it doesn't look good, they still probably, like, it's just not good enough for them.
Yeah, that's not how the NFL works.
Right.
Yeah.
Even like the jokiest of franchises, whether it be the Giants or the Jets or the Dolphins or the Browns, they're full of professionals, football players, and it's not like in college where you gotta where one team is clearly outclassing the other in terms of overall talent. The rosters on any NFL team are full of
professionals.
Yeah, professional football players,
and
they have game plans against different schemes, and they're trying to win. And but what the difference between like the Eagles and the Bills and the Jets and the Browns in most cases are, at some point, those teams like the Giants shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Like last night against the Chiefs when they have the ball on the doorstep and Russell Wilson throws it into the tunnel and gets an intentional grounding call, and now all of a sudden they're not looking good to get a touchdown. But whereas the better teams in the big moments will capitalize, and the winning moments.
Yeah, I think it's an element of excuse me. I say jokingly with obviously like Washington in mind for me, where it's like the culture is damn good. It's just, it's an element top to bottom of competency and accountability and stuff like that, where, the Giants just don't have that right now in that sense. So luckily the Bills pretty much do at this point,
right,
for the most part. So,
and so you think they're going to remember in January how we're close against the Dolphins before winning by 10.
All they care about is that W and the win in that column.
3-0.
Yeah.
3-0.
Last year it was a big deal. Remember when they lost at Baltimore and at Houston?
Yeah.
And they got killed by Houston.
Yeah. And then look where they ended up going. Yes, it wasn't the Super Bowl, but it's not like they, got stopped in the wild card round or whatever.
Right.
So you can't just Judge. Every week is so different. I mean, we literally saw it yesterday.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say when Jim, you brought up just the NFL as a whole, like the early window yesterday was literally ho hum until the witching hour, and then all of a sudden it just went to, I don't know, took pure cocaine and just
the Cleveland
went
Green
nuts.
Bay game was the craziest one because, that was a situation where you thought Green Bay had the game in hand, kind of boring, ugly, but they're going to get the win. And then a block kick return for a touchdown and,
Jets storm back in Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
down 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the lead.
Yeah.
Their
And
head
then
coach
lose, of
celebrated
course.
too early.
Yeah, that I thought when I saw that, Aaron Glenn is thought of as like a pro's pro and going to be a great head coach in the NFL. You can't do that stuff.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're celebrating too soon. That was a big play and everything, but the game wasn't over, and you're celebrating like the game's over.
I think
And it's Baker Mayfield, who already has 2 game-winning drives.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they left him too much time.
Yeah, I said that right away. I was like, Tampa Bay's going to win this game.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he was excited and everything, but man, you just can't imagine like Andy Reid doing something like that, right?
Never.
No, I think Aaron Glenn let his former player out a little bit there.
Right.
Obviously, he was a pretty good player in his time, and I think he just let his former player out a little bit too early yesterday.
And they lost, so
Yeah.
now they're 0-3, right?
Yeah.
The Browns. So great dance, Aaron Glenn, but you're 0-3.
Yeah. Hey, it's part of it.
And it also
the
shows
NFL.
like when you're showing that much emotion as a head coach that you're not even thinking straight anymore. Like he should have been thinking, okay, wow, that was great. Now what's going to happen on the next when we have to kick the ball back to them? What are we going to do? So
And then his quote after the game is something along the lines of, there's still plenty of games left. The New York media loves to do this. They love to just turn to the negatives. We're not doing that. Something along those lines.
okay, well you're 0-3.
You're 0-3.
Yeah,
And
and
the
probably
Jets-
about to be 0-4.
Yeah, and they've done this so many times, year after year. So I don't know. And Tyrod's their quarterback right now. So how far do you really think you're getting with him? I mean, yes, he did lead them back in the game, but we've seen how that goes in the NFL. There's a lot of flukes week after week.
That is definitely correct.
Still not high on Pittsburgh, by the way.
No, yeah, they didn't. There was very little that impressed me in that game overall yesterday, to say the least.
There's very little that impressed me across the league.
Yeah.
I don't think there's
What's going on with Denver, too?
yeah.
Just taking a step back, or is it just too early to say that?
Tough schedule. I mean, we've said the Chargers are probably one of the elite teams, and and they were home against Denver. But yeah, Denver's got a young team. Still like Bo Nick's sophomore campaign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, one of the shocking things is C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Yeah, I know we talked about it, obviously, one of our first podcasts for the season on here, because when we were really talking about the Bills' schedule, the only time they really venture into the Central Time Zone is that Thursday night game against Houston. And it doesn't appear to be one of the bigger worries anymore on the Bills' schedule, at least in my opinion.
Except they'll be on 4 days rest.
Yeah. But I think from just like that game element of it, like I think some of the wind in that sail's kind of gone right now. Now, obviously, we're still a month out from this game period, right? A lot can happen in 4 or 5 weeks that we get to that, and we could be here saying about how.
Do you want to hear my bold prediction?
Yeah, have at it.
The Bills could win out. Like, I can't
Yeah.
predict that they're gonna, but look at this schedule.
Yeah.
We're home the next 2 weeks against New England and New Orleans. New Orleans and New England. New England being a Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Monday Night Football at Atlanta, who they got blanked. They put up 0 points.
They did not get by the 30-yard line.
So, I mean, the Bills are going to be heavy favorites in all 3 of those games, like probably 10-point favorites in all 3 of those games. Maybe not at Atlanta, but heavy favorites. Then they've got a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go at Carolina, who did look better yesterday, but they're
Still low.
yeah, and then Kansas City at home, at Miami, Tampa Bay at home. Now, if Kansas City, Tampa Bay games were on the road, it would be a little tougher, but at home we should win those games, right? Then at Houston, like you said, on Thursday night in Week 12, at Pittsburgh. I guess that's a little tough stretch, but you're getting 10 days rest before the Pittsburgh game. Then Cincinnati at home, December 7th. I think Joe Burrow will still be out by then. At New England, at Cleveland, Philadelphia at home, and then the Jets at home. Every single game, the Jets, every single one of those games, the Bills will be favorites.
Yeah. Can I piggyback your hot take with a hot take now looking at
They'll
the
probably
schedule
lose
for me?
one or two of those,
Right.
but maybe they won't.
I'm going to piggyback your hot take with a hot take now looking at the schedule. I think their toughest game the rest of the way is going to be that Buccaneer game.
Yeah, but it's at Buffalo.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like Philly has done nothing here offensively like for 2 straight weeks to make me go like,
Well, except for when they had to.
Well,
at the end of the game last
yeah,
night,
but
they turned
like-
it on.
Yeah, and they had those issues kind of last year too. There was times in the
Fair.
season where
yeah,
man, they aren't moving the ball,
And that's not till 3 days after Christmas. So that's a long. Who knows
Right.
what they
Yeah.
look like? But
and they avoid the 3-0 fluke Colts. I am not high on them still.
true.
It's been 3 games. It's Daniel Jones after all.
I bet at the Titans yesterday. That was a big mistake. I thought that maybe it was.
I almost thought that could be an upset.
But that was wrong on that.
That game was literally a wrap 12 seconds in.
The one I don't like at Pittsburgh on November 30th. I mean, but we'll be favored. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Bills need to get better, but if you're just looking at terms of they won't be underdogs again for the rest of the season, barring injury.
Yeah, I don't think so at this point.
When do you think the AFC East will be wrapped up?
Oh, geez.
By
Well, they're going to
Thanksgiving?
beat New England on October 5th. They're going to beat Miami again on November 9th.
Yeah, by like Thanksgiving, right?
Maybe
think-
that November 9th game could do it
I mean,
against New
Can
England.
you believe the entire AFC East is 1-8 outside the Bills?
Yeah.
And the Patriots' only win came against the Dolphins.
Yep.
I'm about to say I'm gonna go the kind route. I think like you are, Kyle, and say Thanksgiving just because football's football, right? I mean, I would imagine the Patriots will snag a few wins in between now and
They're going to have to beat each other once in a while.
right. So
And they get Carolina this week.
yeah, so yeah,
Jets and Dolphins play this week, so somebody's got to win.
yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
not necessarily.
I guess they could tie, but they
Yeah.
should never be ties.
no.
But look at the schedule.
Yeah.
It's definitely doable. They'll trip up somewhere, and we'll probably think the sky's falling. But the places the Bills certainly, in my mind, need to get better at is, the receiving core needs to become more reliable. Like, if you look at the Bills' box scores compared to almost any other NFL team, like, there's no reliable receivers, and there's not a lot of good receiver stats. Like, Keon Coleman has not made the step that we hoped he would. Shakir looked good on
Yeah.
Thursday night, which was nice because he hasn't looked like his old self. Josh Palmer, like, I was excited about that signing. He's like the man left out.
What I thought was weird though about Thursday night was the play calling. Why they weren't taking any vertical shots? It was all little short, intermediate throws.
Right.
So I'm wondering, like, was it strictly just the play calling, or were they not getting open again? Because that's been a problem.
So part of me wondered this watching the game because it appeared, and you're right, there weren't any true deep threats, but it looked like the people on the deeper, we'll call them routes in Thursday night, were actually the tight ends.
Jackson Hawes.
So
had another
part of me wondered if they saw something in tape wise that made them go that route. I don't know.
At the end of the day, they still put up 30.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Right.
that's what's crazy is they have the most 30-point games since last year. They've done this 53 times under McDermott. They put up points. The points are never an issue. But the thing is, we do talk about the receivers because that is an issue. If the receivers are even better, I mean, what are they going to start putting up 40 a week?
Well, I can't remember what play it was because this was now Thursday night, but I think it was Coleman played that simple, where the receiver runs out and they know the ball is going to be over the back shoulder when they turn. It's like a standard play that good quarterback receiver combos use to pick up like a first down on like a 3rd and 10. And Coleman, dropped it right in his hands.
Yeah.
And then Kincaid dropped one at one point.
And did Knox have another drop, I thought?
I didn't even see Knox on the field, honestly. I mean, I did see him on the field, but he wasn't really.
They don't use him much anymore, which is crazy. The money that he's making.
Yeah, they like
Hawes. Yeah. Another draft pick, another tight end that was drafted.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I can.
Receivers.
I mean,
he had a catch.
Looks like he might be the most upside at this point.
Yeah.
And they don't even use him a ton. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't use any of them.
And Curtis Samuel, another healthy scratch.
Yeah.
How is this guy still on this team?
I don't know.
So they get their offense from Josh Allen, spreading it around, running sometimes. James Cook, and then maybe like Ty Johnson or Ray Davis are even more offensively reliable than some of the receivers for the Bills.
That's the thing, though. We didn't talk about it. Ray Davis, goose egg in the box score for him Thursday night. They went to Ty Johnson more.
Yep.
Obviously more than Ray Davis.
But next week against New Orleans, Ray Davis might score 2 touchdowns.
True.
That's the thing. It's so unpredictable. Never bet player props for the Bills. It's just not going to.
Unless it's James Cook.
Unless it's rushing yards for Josh Allen.
Or maybe even Matt Prater at this point. I don't know. Because you can bet
missed one, didn't he?
You can bet
the first half of that game.
Yeah, first miss.
Right, but you can bet
back.
Right, but you can bet the kicker points total.
Right.
So
and that kind of changed the momentum. They were going to go up 2 scores, and then they didn't, and then Miami came right down and scored before halftime.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a bad miss, but I mean, I guess he was 6 for 6 to start off.
yeah. Anyway, I can forgive Kincaid for one drop. He's had a pretty good start to the year.
Thursday night was the first time he led the Bills in receiving
Yeah.
since 2023 when he was a rookie.
Yeah.
So he actually had his big game, although he started off really good and then it kind of slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
But the targets went down too.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, it's a 10-point win against a divisional team. I'll take it. Let's roll to the next one. Let's beat the Saints by 40.
And Ed Oliver was out, right?
Well, that was something I wanted to talk about too here quickly. I know if you do a flat look at the box score, I think some people are like, how did the Bills not get a sack on Tua?
Yeah, they have one.
I will say this though. They pressured the hell out of him. It's just one of those things where they just, for whatever reason, couldn't get to him in time.
They have the higher,
but the pressures were there Thursday night.
They have the highest pressure rate in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
isn't that insane? You wouldn't ever believe that.
And it's mostly from the defensive line.
Yeah,
yep. That's how they got the game-ending interception because they had pressure on Tua. Deion Walker got maybe a piece of it, and but that is a problem. The pass rush disappeared.
Yeah,
Tua had been sacked 8 times in the first 2 games, and they only had 1. They did, like you said, miss at Oliver.
Yeah.
Matt Milano wasn't out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's concerning.
And the spin positive, at least on the Milano front, is for now still he's avoiding the IR. It sounds like McDermott's at least approaching it as if he might be able to go in terms of a week-to-week basis at this point.
Yeah.
So
And
stuff
Joey
could be there.
Bosa's still healthy.
Yeah.
Well, his brother's not.
Shockingly.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Before, which is going to suck because he's exciting, I think, to have out there, even though he hasn't really put up a lot of stats in terms of sacks or tackles.
But I go back to that game against Baltimore week 1 where, to me, he had probably the game-winning play containing Lamar Jackson on that final drive. He's a
special player.
Yeah, I think the quote-unquote traditional stat stuff isn't there quite yet for Bosa with the Bills, but I think you look at the stuff that goes beyond that traditional stuff. It's been Grand Slam signing 1 year, what is it, $12.7 million deal, whatever it ended up being. It's slam dunk. I think I'd be working on the deal right now to keep him around for another couple of years, in my opinion. But
I heard someone mention that last week. Do you try to do it early enough, or
I would.
Or are you still concerned about an injury?
I'm concerned about injuries, but same guys get injured every year,
There's a guy to complain about, though, on the defensive line. Where's Greg Rousseau been?
Yeah. Yeah.
He hasn't done anything at all, and they pay him all this money, too?
Yeah.
And then especially with, Ed Oliver out, you'd think he'd step up. against a team who had allowed 8 sacks in 2 games and no show.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we've always talked about the pass rush being a problem.
Yeah. But I think, too, it's like what you said, though. They have the leading pass rush pressure-wise in the league right now. You'd hope the numbers kind of break eventually in their favor of just having like a 4 or 5 sack game here eventually, just to break the ice.
Probably will now against the Saints.
You know what I mean, right? Yeah. I just let's get into that game a little bit here. Obviously, this week, the Saints coming off of a ramshackling against the Seahawks. Like I don't know what you want from us for this game, people. This is
3 at halftime against the Seahawks.
This is just we were talking about it off air. We'll get it off the deal now. Depending upon what book you're looking at, it's more or less a 15.5 point spread. Opened at 14.5 or 16.5, depending upon what book you're looking at. I mean, this is just on paper a Mitch Trubisky fourth quarter game on paper. But obviously, like we kind of talked about a few minutes ago, this is the NFL. Who knows what actually happens? But this is one of those ones where, to use an adage from college football, just go out and get the win like you're supposed to, and we'll talk about whatever after.
Yeah, it's hard as a Bills fan to get excited about this one. It's only bad things can happen.
Yeah.
Like if they could win by 50, and we wouldn't be surprised if If they win by 3, we'll think the sky's falling, and it's just not that exciting of a game.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst games. Anybody who plays New Orleans is going to be one of the worst games of the week in the NFL every week.
Yeah. Yeah, I when I looked at, and it was only because I think, like, I turned over to the NASCAR race at the time because that was coming to an end as the early window of games wrapped up. Checked in on NFL Network quickly just to see scores and whatever quick, and I saw, like, it was 38-3 in the second quarter, and I'm like, oh, that is a score you see in college, not in the NFL. Like, so, yeah, I'm with you, Jim. It's one of those things where it's like, only bad things can really potentially happen here in terms of, like, bigger headlines, unless it's, I don't know, we're talking about, like, Josh Allen breaking the record for most total yards in a game by a quarterback in NFL history, something stupid like that.
Like, quickest to 200 in NFL. Didn't he do something this week? Quickest to 200?
Fastest to 300 total, beating Mahomes. But I think the passing was 200.
Something like that.
Yeah, the total was 300, the passing was 200.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton here.
It'd be a great day to get out to the stadium, hopefully, while the weather's still kind of good, and just enjoy a nice tailgating and watch an easy football win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad. Normally I can come in here, like, even like last week and be like, yeah, it's still the Dolphins, right? They still have pieces. Who knows what might technically happen. Look, the only thing I got for the Saints is I feel bad for Spencer Rattler because that dude looks like he's just trying to go out there and fight his ass off, and it's just not going well. Like, that's all I got. Like, Cam Jordan's still there, I guess.
I want a Spencer Rattler prop over 1/2 of a touchdown. That was his touchdown line, passing touchdown, over 0.5.
Bang.
Yeah. And so when they were down 38-3, I'm like, this is great. He's probably going to get it as long as they don't pull him.
Yeah, that's true.
And he did.
Yeah. Yeah,
How bad are you in the NFL that your starting quarterback's touchdown line is 0.5?
Not good. Not good.
Touchdown. Like, most of them are, like, even like Josh Allen, they're 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
But Rattler was 0.5.
I don't know. It's weird too, and I guess we'll show a little bit of the age across the podcast here a little bit. We do this every now and then. I've only known for the most part of my lifetime the Saints to be a decent organization.
Sean Payton's not there anymore.
Yeah, but even then, though, the past couple of years, like, yeah, they weren't, like, as good, clearly, but it wasn't like there was, like, disaster hours a lot.
Trending that way.
I don't know. When
I was younger, they were the worst team in the NFL.
I was about to say, is this reverting back to, like, the Aints days?
Yep. like the 1980s and 90s Saints, or 80s, probably more than 90s, I think, but they used to they were the original team to put the paper bags over their heads in the crowd.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe they're tanking for another Manning by chance. I don't know.
He don't look like he'd be the number 1 pick,
I wouldn't take him,
but
yeah.
Saints might,
Yeah.
given their history.
So, yeah, I don't know, Kyle. I mean, this is like we were saying. This is kind of just a deal of like only bad could happen. There's not much to really dive too much into, but it's like
Predictions.
Yeah, Kyle, I'll let you lead off, man, this time around because apparently I just steal your score and everything every week. So
Yeah, so they're going to cover. It's going to be 34-17.
all right, I like that. I don't know. That's a similar area, I guess, to where I was kind of maybe going. I think it's a little bit more of a gap. I think I'm gonna go 35-10. I don't know, man. I think the Bills might do a same thing where they'll try and jump early here in the first half, and then second half you just might see them do the college way of just sitting on the ball, clocking it, and getting out of there with everybody hopefully in one piece.
That would be best case scenario. They get a big enough lead where they can start to rest some of the starters, even if they give up a little bit on the scoreboard. But I don't know. I'm right with you guys. 34-13.
It's just one of those things where I'm with you, Jim. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you're a Bills fan, the only way this has any sort of headlines if something bad happens.
We're doing this podcast every week.
Yeah.
What's there going to be to talk about for the next several weeks?
Yeah.
We got New England at home, Sunday Night Football after New Orleans, and then at Atlanta, then a bye week.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should just reconvene in January for the playoffs.
I wish I could agree, but
Well, here's a did you know stat for the game. The Saints are 4-1 all time in Buffalo.
Really?
And the Bills' only win came in 1983 when Joe Ferguson was playing quarterback.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a name at least.
When was the last time they lost to him?
2017, it was 47-10.
Well, that was
It's just Sean McDermott's first year as head coach.
I was about to say that's
I think Kamara had 3.
still the peak of quasi peak of Drew Brees and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
And remember, this is their first meeting overall since Thanksgiving 4 years ago.
Yeah.
When Trey White tore his ACL.
Yeah.
131-6.
Yeah.
So of course AFC versus NFC, they're not going to play a lot, but yeah. And of course these stats aren't going to matter because the Saints are going to get their doors blown off.
Well, that's one thing with the crossover divisions that we're playing. We're playing the NFC South, right? So we're getting Atlanta, Carolina, New Orleans, and Tampa.
yeah.
And the only one of those teams that's a legitimate, playoff contender even is Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And we get them at home.
Yeah, and I know what you said, Jim, about I think New England will be able to at least talk about stuff, but like Atlanta, we could be potentially talking about mutiny going on, at least with them potentially. So
Yeah, see what happens with them the next 2 weeks. That's a Monday Night Football game.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Atlanta, though. It is on the road.
Yeah, 7-15.
yeah. That's right. They're not doing the true split that week. It's a 7-15 and 8-15.
Yep.
Yeah. That's just gross.
Well, most people are probably watching the game opposite because the Bills.
What is the opposite game that do you know, Kyle? Do you have, or
I don't have it pulled.
because I know at least it's. I don't know. It's just tough given the way that
We're looking ahead 2 weeks now to
Yeah.
get stuff because of the Saints game.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, hey, anything can happen.
NFL. But I predict we go undefeated for the first time since the Dolphins.
Be cool.
But then we'd have to continue to go
Yeah.
undefeated through the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
That'd be the first true one since the Dolphins. So
Actually, the Bills could have everything wrapped up before that December 28th game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
They could have everything wrapped up, no reason to play. So bring out, the subs and get beat by Philadelphia.
yeah. Mitch Trubisky versus Tristan McKee. Who says no?
Either way, it's kind of odd to have AFC, NFC of two such big teams that late in the season because it would be more interesting if it was another AFC team that game might have had big time implications. But given that it's the Eagles, they're not like competing against each other yet for playoff seeding when that comes to bear on December 28th.
In 2 weeks, when they play the Falcons, your team is playing at home against Chicago.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Maybe Daniels will be healthy by then.
It may not matter. Mariota looked really good yesterday. So did the Bears, though.
Now you remember.
So did the Bears, though.
You remember that was a donut game with the Raiders getting screwed by the NFL schedule makers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I did put Washington in a parlay.
Easy.
I couldn't stop.
Easy win.
Jim, happy to report, podcast crossover here. Not that it mattered, but Washington you got 2.5 with them, so.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, so.
Here's a quick one. Who's the highest scoring team in the NFL right now? Before tonight's games.
It's a good question.
Tonight's game.
So this is clearly a trap of story here. So it's obviously not Buffalo.
Seahawks?
They're the third most.
Chargers?
Nope. Colts.
Oh, yeah, duh. That was the obvious one.
103.
Yeah.
Bills 102.
Yeah.
But if the Ravens put up like 30, they'll pass both.
That game tonight could be shootout territory in that sense.
Yeah. I hope so. It'd be fun.
We deserve it after last night's. The football viewing public deserves a good primetime game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be easy Baltimore win, but we disagreed on that.
We did.
So we'll see what happens tonight.
We don't quite have a lock fight, but it's a kind of lock fight. So, Kyle, me and you all the way, baby, tonight.
It might be my only win. If you didn't know, I'm already 0-2 this week.
Same. No, you're 1-2. You're 1-1.
When we're talking about the betting pod, which I think I'm going to be out of town Thursday again. I'm going to Parents' Weekend.
Oh, you're going to jam you, baby.
So we might need to
who
do
they play
that
this
on
week?
Wednesday.
Who do they play this weekend?
I don't know because I don't even have tickets. Because last year I spent a lot of money to get good tickets, and we left at halftime because nobody wanted to watch the game except for me apparently. But a great atmosphere down there.
It's time for the James Madison minute here.
Yeah, I don't know. They play. I do know who they play, but it's I'm not remembering, and nobody that listens to this podcast cares. So
That's fair. I don't know. It's a good vibe, at least locally here, football wise, right now. So we got that going. Georgia Southern.
that's right.
So
Sunbelt action.
the Fun Belt, maybe.
But if we are talking about college football, how about them Orange?
Hey, let's go, boys! It's Ricky Collins time now, baby.
That's fine. That's Fran Brown's got a plan for everything.
Yep, love it.
Beat Clemson badly.
Yeah.
Just stepped on their throat in their own stadium.
Yeah, I'll be.
I love
Man, it's interesting, right? Because for those who maybe on this podcast who listen to only this, who don't know, like I'm a big college football guy, right? I mean, you guys know this, and I'm really looking forward to my first trip ever. I'm going to Clemson Halloween weekend, right? They're playing Duke. Tickets are becoming cheaper and cheaper, which is nice in that sense for that game. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm intrigued to see what that atmosphere is going to be like at that point potentially with Clemson. So
that will Sweeney even be there.
yeah, Alabama might be calling them home.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Yeah, so
I loved it.
it's great.
We're maybe national champs.
Yeah,
Win the ACC.
why not us?
Hey, why not? We're 1-0 in the ACC. We beat the traditional power. We got Florida State this year.
No,
Right. Yeah. So we got.
we have it's at Miami though.
Right, at Miami's gonna be the tough one.
Yeah.
But we got their numbers we showed last year.
Yeah.
Just
So
fake some injuries and you'll be okay.
hey, to be fair though, that was Cade Klubnik's first good read all year. So
Cannot believe you would say that though. After the
it's
game.
just you just open yourself up
yourself
to
look like an idiot.
yeah. It's you just open yourself up for a can of worms anyway down the road. Not even so much for that, but I mean, say they get busted in 2 weeks for faking an injury, like now you're just you make yourself look like the horse's ass, you know?
Well,
Is what
it's kind of we're spoiled by success in Bills country when we're just talking about everything but the Bills after week 3 because we got, we're 3-0 and we got the Saints coming to town.
Yeah. So
But it's fun to win, right?
yeah, hey, good time to be an upstate New York football fan. That's
Yes.
true.
Last 4-0 start for the Bills, by the way, if they win, was 2020. So let's see if they can. I don't think I should even say let's see if they can do it. They're going to do it.
Right.
I mean, there's no doubt.
Right.
I like that. knock on wood. So, yeah, that'll pretty much do it, I think. So normal time then next week, 10 a.m. again.
Yep.
Okay. Figured we'd be sure with that because of travel.
No, I'll be back.
So
And most of my travel starts on Thursday, and I'm back home. Hopefully we'll be back by kickoff.
Oh, that reminds me, only because I'm a sicko in this type of way, Jim. Will you be visiting the new Buc-ee's? Just south of
If I
Harrisonburg.
get a chance, I will, for sure, yeah. I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
I will be anxiously awaiting your review then, if you end up down there. So
Yeah, no, there's a good chance it will. But it is south, though, of Harrisonburg, right?
I think it's the first exit south.
Like Stanton?
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah,
The itinerary for these trips.
Yeah, I really went inside baseball on that one, but I don't really care. I'm looking forward when I go that way in a few weeks to go to Buc-ee's for the first time as well. So there's that. All right, that will do it. Appreciate everybody for listening in and tuning in here on Bills Weekly. You can find Bills Weekly on fingerleaks1.com, the FL1 YouTube channel, and all major podcasting platforms. Boys, we'll be back at it again next week, 10 a.m. As like Kyle said, we will be recapping the Bills' win against the New Orleans Saints. So until then, enjoy the week, everybody, and let's go Buffalo.